Hello, and welcome to the Shurley English Workshop Series. My name is Kimberly Crady. I'm one of the national consultants with Shurley Instructional Materials, and I'm here to provide you with some ongoing support for your Shurley English instruction. Today's topic will be the invisible subject. The invisible subject I'm speaking of is the understood subject pronoun, you. By now, your students have learned 6 of the 8 parts of speech in English grammar. Before we discuss the invisible subject pronoun, or the understood subject pronoun you, we'll do a quick review of pronouns in general. To begin with, nouns and pronouns seem to be fairly simple for students to learn and recognize in sentences. They learn that nouns and pronouns work hand in hand in our English language. Most of your students know that a noun names a person, place, thing, or idea. Nouns seem to be easier for students because most of them are tangible. Students can use their 5 senses to see, hear, smell, touch, and even taste items identified as nouns. You have taught your students that a pronoun takes the place of a person, place, thing, or idea, and can stand in place of any noun in a sentence. So to the student, using a pronoun is like taking a shortcut in order to avoid using the same noun over and over again. In Shurley English, we begin each lesson by going over the definition or jingle first. You may choose to sing or chant the jingle, it's up to you. For the sake of time, I've decided to chant the jingle for you. These little pronouns hanging around can take the place of any of the nouns with a smile and a nod and a twinkle of the eye. Give those pronouns a big high five. Yeah! Always remember that it doesn't matter whether you sing or chant the jingle. What matters most is that students recite the jingle often enough to commit the information to memory so they can apply the information when speaking and writing. These jingles are going to be the tools that your students will come back to and store in their memory banks to help them along the way. After going over the pronoun jingle, students will learn specific information about various kinds of pronouns. Before we get into the invisible subject pronoun, we need to unpack pronouns a bit more. So follow me as I take you through a quick review. Let's begin by going over the subject pronoun jingle. The jingle will teach your students the special pronouns that can be used as the subject of a sentence. Feel free to chant the jingle with me. Ready? There are 7 subject pronouns that are easy as can be. Subject pronouns: I and we, he and she, it and they and you. Those are the subject pronouns. The subject pronoun lesson teaches students that the subject pronoun takes the place of the subject noun in a sentence. The lesson also teaches students that only certain pronouns can be used as a subject pronoun. Reciting the jingle helps them learn and apply them. The only pronouns that can be used as a subject in a sentence are I, we, he, she, it, they, and you. To find a subject pronoun using the question and answer flow, students learn to read the sentence and then ask who or what to locate it. Once they find the answer to the question, they learn to label it with the abbreviation S_P for subject pronoun. It's important that you follow the question and answer flow script with fidelity. The scripts are provided in the teacher's manual. The script will ensure that students are learning the correct order of operations necessary to label and classify the sentence logically and sequentially. An example of how the sentence will look after it has been labeled and classified correctly is also provided. Let's work through the question and answer flow together. Here's an example of a sentence that contains a subject, noun, and verb. Follow along as I recite the question and answer flow for you. Tina searched. Who searched? Tina, subject, noun. What is being said about Tina? Tina searched. Verb. Now take a look at the next sentence, using the subject pronoun she in place of Tina. The question and answer flow sounds like this. She searched. Who searched? She. Subject pronoun. What is being said about she? She searched. Verb. Notice that I have color-coded subject nouns in blue and subject pronouns in green. Color coding helps students learn the different sentence parts quickly. Take a look at the sentence patterns taught throughout the curriculum. A sentence pattern identifies the order of its core parts. Adding pronouns to the question and answer flow does not change the pattern of a sentence because it simply stands for a subject noun. Sentence patterns always begin with a subject noun, even when the sentence starts with a subject pronoun. Let me show you what I mean by using these sample sentences. Tina searched frantically for the lost keys. Who searched frantically for the lost keys? Tina. Subject noun. What is being said about Tina? Tina searched. Verb. Searched how? Frantically. Adverb. For. Preposition. For what? Keys. Object of the preposition. What kind of keys? Lost. Adjective. The. Article adjective. Subject noun verb pattern 1 skill check. For the lost keys. Prepositional phrase. Period statement. Declarative sentence. Go back to the verb. Divide the complete subject from the complete predicate. Follow me through the second example. She searched frantically for the lost keys. Who searched frantically for the lost keys? She. Subject pronoun. What is being said about she? She searched. Verb. Searched how? Frantically. Adverb. For. Preposition. For what? Keys. Object of the preposition. What kind of keys? Lost. Adjective. The. Article adjective. Subject noun verb pattern 1 skill check. For the lost keys. Prepositional phrase. Period statement declarative sentence. Go back to the verb. Divide the complete subject from the complete predicate. Notice, each sentence pattern is identified with a subject noun, even though the actual subject is identified and labeled as a subject pronoun in the sentence. The subject noun is part of a consistent identification of the pattern, not the actual identification of the subject in the sentence. Stay with me as I classify the last sentence. Search for the lost keys. Whoa, wait a minute. At this point, your students might be feeling a bit confused. It's normal. This is where most students get stumped because it looks and sounds like there's no subject. This sentence has an invisible subject, and that's what we're going to talk about next. Let me explain. First, you must remind your students that the invisible subject, the understood subject pronoun you, will always be found in imperative sentences. Let's quickly review the imperative sentence. The imperative sentence gives a command or makes a request. Search for the lost keys is an imperative sentence. The imperative sentence ends with a period. The imperative sentence is labeled with the abbreviation capital IMP. Once students realize that imperative sentences usually start with a verb, they are easy to recognize. Notice these sample sentences. They all begin with a verb. Talk quietly, go to bed, raise your hand. Now, even though this sentence looks like it begins with a verb, it actually begins with the understood subject pronoun you. You just can't see or hear it. It's invisible. In fact, all of these imperative sentences begin with the understood subject pronoun you. Whether you can see the subject or not, every sentence has a subject and a verb. Although the subject pronoun is not written or spoken, it is simply understood to be there. The understood subject pronoun is like an invisible subject. Students understand the 5 requirements of a sentence. You must have a subject and a verb. They must make complete sense. A sentence must also begin with a capital letter and end with a punctuation mark. That means when a subject is not stated in the sentence, It will always be the understood subject pronoun you. Students will learn to write it by placing the word you in parentheses and labeling it with the abbreviation S_P for subject pronoun. Once students learn to rely on the subject questions in the question and answer flow, they'll begin to enjoy the challenge in classifying imperative sentences and the understood subject pronoun you. Now let's apply what we know to the question and answer flow. When you begin adding the understood subject pronoun to the question and answer flow, please make sure that you approach the Q&A flow in the exact same way you did when the sentences included a subject noun. The pronoun is simply taking the place of a noun. To begin, students must read the sentence aloud. Search for the lost keys. Then, continue on to the subject noun question. It would sound like this. Who searched for the lost keys? You. Understood subject pronoun. You probably noticed that the placement of the label is different. When you classify sentences, the understood subject pronoun you is always written in parentheses at the beginning of the sentence with the label S_P beside it. After you classify the subject pronoun, continue and ask the verb question. What is being said about you? You search. Verb. Now that you have identified the core of the sentence, continue using the Q&A flow to classify the rest of the sentence. All right, let's go back to the chalkboard and classify the entire sentence. Search for the lost keys. Who searched for the lost keys? You. Understood subject pronoun. What is being said about you? You search. Verb. 4. Preposition. For what? Keys. Object of the preposition. What kind of keys? Lost. Adjective. The. Article adjective. Subject noun verb pattern 1 skill check. For the lost keys. Prepositional phrase. Period, command, imperative sentence. Go back to the verb. Divide the complete subject from the complete predicate. Even though our subject is invisible, you still have to draw the line that divides the complete subject from the complete predicate in the proper place. It looks a little different than the sentences we're used to classifying, but sentences containing the understood subject pronoun you will look similar to this one. Now, look at the progression of learning that has taken place. See, when you follow your teacher's manual and the exact methodology of Shurley English, you give your students the opportunity to truly own the English language. Teachers often wonder why they spend so much time teaching Pattern 1 sentences. It's because Pattern 1 lays the foundation for all the other sentence patterns, and it is full of many concepts like the understood subject pronoun. Once your students become more familiar with those concepts in Pattern 1, they can be added to other sentence patterns with ease. While you're teaching the Shurley English curriculum, you will continue to assess previously taught skills through the Skill Builder. The first Skill Builder includes a noun check. During a noun check, students identify nouns doing different noun jobs. Since a pronoun takes the place of a noun, it can be located in any noun job position. Students must learn how to deal with pronouns in noun job positions. What they have to remember is that a pronoun is not circled in a noun check. Let's take a closer look. Since nouns are located by their noun jobs, it is essential to learn them so that you know where to go to find nouns. Remember to do a noun check. Say the job, and then say the noun. Circle each noun. Follow me as I identify the nouns in the sample sentences. It goes like this. Sentence 1. Subject pronoun, we. No, it is a pronoun. Object of the preposition, songs. Yes, it is a noun. Sentence 2. Subject pronoun, we. No, it is a pronoun. Object of the preposition, songs. Yes, it is a noun. Object of the preposition radio. Yes, it is a noun. Let's do this one together. As we go to the noun jobs, remember that we now have to decide if the word beneath it is a noun or pronoun. If it is a noun, we will circle it as usual. If it is a pronoun, we will acknowledge it, but it will not be circled because it is not a noun. Ready? Sentence 1. Subject pronoun, they. No, it is a pronoun. Object of the preposition, building. Yes, it is a noun. Object of the preposition, exercise. Yes, it is a noun. Let's continue to the next sentence. As you can see, this sentence contains the invisible subject pronoun. Understood you. Sentence 2. Understood subject pronoun, you. No. It is a pronoun. Object of the preposition, library. Yes, it is a noun. Object of the preposition, Calvin. Yes, it is a noun. Object of the preposition, school. Yes, it is a noun. Object of the preposition, exam. Yes, it is a noun. After you have located the nouns in the sentence, continue the skill builder by identifying the nouns as singular or plural and common or proper. Now, let's turn our attention to sentence blueprints. Sentence blueprints help students learn how to integrate grammar knowledge into the writing process by using the same process as the question and answer flow to build the sentence. Students learn to determine the core parts of their sentence first and follow the same order of operations as the question and answer flow. Sentence blueprints also help students build revision skills. Let me show you how easy it is to write a sentence that contains the understood subject pronoun you using a sentence blueprint. Students will design and build their own sentence by choosing the labels they want to use. Once the labels are filled in, they will follow the order of the Q&A flow to build their sentence. Students must determine their core parts first by choosing a subject and a verb that agree. Let me show you how it's done. The sentence will include the understood subject pronoun you, so I begin with the subject question who. I will write the understood subject pronoun in the space provided by placing a set of parentheses around you. Following the order of the question and answer flow, I must determine the verb next. I will ask the subject, the verb question. What is being said about you? You walk, verb. Looking ahead, it is clear that I must come up with an adverb to modify my verb. I will go to the verb and ask one of the adverb questions. Walk how? My word choice is carefully. Adverb. As you can see, I need a prepositional phrase that will make sense with the core of my sentence. I'm going to choose the preposition down. To find an object of the preposition, I need to ask, down what? I'm going to choose the word path, object of the preposition. Now I can fill in the rest of the prepositional phrase. Look at the adjective label and ask one of the adjective questions. I will ask, what kind of path? Steep, adjective. Next, I see that I need an article adjective to finish the prepositional phrase. My word choice is the, article adjective. It looks like I get to choose another adverb, so I will ask the adverb question, when. I say, walk when? Today, adverb. Now, in order to make this sentence complete, there is another step. Students are asked to write their sentence and use the checklist to make sure they have all 5 parts of a complete sentence. The sentence reads, walk carefully down the steep path today. It has a subject, verb, it makes sense, it has a capital letter and an end mark. So now we have a complete sentence. Students are given the opportunity to improve their sentence by using different word choice strategies. Building and revising sentences helps students develop the revision skills and sentence sense they need to write good paragraphs and essays. As our presentation comes to an end, I hope you can see that learning the invisible subject, also known as the understood subject pronoun you, can be easy for you and your students when you teach with Shurley English. Always remember, the features you're using to make the grammar writing connection pave the way so that your students can begin to master the English language and express themselves with competence and confidence. Thank you for attending this edition of the Shurley English Workshop Series. We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel to view all of our language arts instructional videos. For more information about our curriculum, please visit us at www.shurley.com.